Most of the exhausts we've installed on the Bronco here have been catbacks thus far. Today we're going to install a Roush one, and this is just an axle back, so it's actually a lot quicker and easier to install. So what you're actually going to do is only disconnect this clamp right here, and then you're going to have a hanger on each side. So like pretty much every Ford exhaust clamp, the axle back clamp is a 15 millimeter. You can loosen it with hand tools, you can loosen it with an impact, you can loosen it with whatever you want. Personally, I use an impact because who's got time for hand tools? Now, to get it out of the hangers, I've done this a lot of times on this particular vehicle, but it still seems like they can get stuck. They're never going to slide right out. You can use some WD-40 or something similar to lubricate them, make them slide out a little bit easier. Sometimes it's just easier to use a pry bar, push it right off the car, and then swap it over to the new exhaust on the ground. That's what I'm going to do on this one, just because it's less work. So you want to be careful once the exhaust is loosened up and you disconnect one hanger. It could be loose. There's a good chance it's going to be stuck if it's the first time coming off the vehicle. This one's a little flexible because it just went back to stock not too long ago. So again, be careful. It's loose, it could fall. Just be aware. And there you have it, the stock axle back, nice and quick and easy. So the 2.7 liter is going to have you swap out for the Roush hanger. The 2.3 liter is going to have you flip the factory hanger. So I didn't think we were going to have to pull the rear bumper because I hadn't had to do this before, and now I see why. So the hanger has nuts fixed to it that do not turn. The bolts go in from the back. If you have the factory bumper, you will need to pop the bumper off. 2 bolts on each side under the tow hooks. A couple of connectors on the end. We talked about this in our ADD video if you haven't seen it yet. Being this already has the ADD bumper on it, I think I'm going to be able to sneak in there and get them without pulling the bumper back off. Just be aware that you do need to get the bolts from the back side. So they have you put the plate behind the hanger to sprace it out from the frame. They do give you new bolts. They also go in from the front. Something to consider in the future, perhaps. And like I said, you can run them pretty much all the way down because you're just going to slot it into the frame. Back over here, show you the difference. So as you can see, it's much higher up. Basically that gives it the higher clearance that the Roush axle back is designed for. Factory ones kind of flip the other way. So now we're going to hang the axle back. So as you can see, the Roush axle back here next to the Ford axle back, it's much smaller, lighter, higher quality stainless. It also comes with a black tip as well as the hardware for the hanger swap and the clamp. So you can put both hangers on the car, or if you want to start them on the exhaust, whatever you prefer. That's just kind of whatever you feel like. So, as you can see, it is a high clearance system for tightening up exhaust clamps You can refer to the Roush directions for the torque spec, or if you're familiar with them, you can kind of do it by feel. So the axle back is fully on now, tightened up, looks great, tucked nice up under the bumper. Now, we've got the ADD bumper on here. I'm not sure how the tip's gonna look. We're gonna throw it on. Yeah, actually it's not bad at all. I was expecting to leave this off, being it looks better under the factory bumper, but I think we're gonna leave it on there. So we've got the Roush axle back on here. We just did the Turbo Smart blow-off valve in another video. You're gonna hear that most likely. But here's your interior noise. I'll kind of give thoughts as we're going here. So this is kind of standard acceleration. It's really not droning. It's not very loud. It is definitely louder than stock, but it's a little bit growlier. There's no drone, which I like. Not as loud as like the AWE that we put on. Definitely pretty tame while cruising. Get on it here a little bit for a quicker acceleration and see how it is under wide open throttle once we can slow down a little bit here so we're not doing any speeding.